Hey everybody, so this is going to be my evening video for 9/22. Um, a few updates, some really cool stories to share with you guys, and still not a whole lot of clarity as to my next couple of days and where I'm going to be. Although I do know where I'll be tonight. So um, the first thing to share with you guys is a couple of really cool stories I tripped on today. Um, the first is a young lady that I took a picture of yesterday at Denny's. She works at Denny's, a very hard worker. And I'm getting a bunch of texts as I send this here. And her name is Liliana. And we got to talking after had done my videos. And very, very nice woman, very God-fearing woman. But she had a story, and I guess one of the reasons she was interested in speaking with me is because she had heard that I was going to be doing a book, and she's trying herself right now to write a book of her life. So anytime somebody says that, you're kind of interested in what what story is there to tell. Frankly, I'm not sure even I have much of a story. The journey is the story, not anything about me. But she started to talk to me, and I was really touched and impressed because, again, I call my journey point to thumb because a lot of people want to uh, deflect and place blame elsewhere as opposed to put it on themselves. Well, Liliana confessed to me that she at one point had been over 600 pounds, had been in a very emotionally and physically abusive relationship, and was able to get herself out of that, and with the help of medical procedure was able to get her weight down. Very attractive young lady, if you see the picture, and I think it was really cool that she didn't. I'm waving to somebody who had invited me over for the night to have dinner, so I'll tell you about that. That's one of the other cool stories. So, anyway, get back to Liliana. So here's a woman that has suffered and struggled, and through it all, never placed blame elsewhere. Just found resolve and strength in herself to become the person she is. And one of the things I took notice of that I thought was so amazing. She's a server at Denny's, and she said, I love my job. She said, I meet so many neat people, and I love doing what I'm doing. And in fact, she was training at this particular Denny. She worked at other ones. And today, as I speak to you, would be her first day where she was going to have her own section without being a trainee. So it was really kind of a cool day. And she believes people come into your life for a reason. And she seemed to be so grateful that I was there. And so it was just really neat meeting her. But again, I take away these little things. And like I said, throughout the fact that she had been abused physically, emotionally, she was 600 pounds and her life was essentially in danger. She never one time in talking to me had anything but positivity, and not one time that she placed blame anywhere. So I thought that was pretty remarkable, and I could learn a lot from that. When you see somebody like that, she was telling me how she understands about me being on my feet because she's on her feet all day, and I get that. We take for granted how hard some of these people work in life, and it's real easy to want to feel like you're being overworked and underpaid, and she just seemed to be so upbeat and pleasant. I thought it was really awesome. So much love, Liliana. Thank you for talking with me. The next thing I wanted to share with you was just happened this afternoon. So I stayed at a hotel last night, and I'm a little bit out of it still. The migraine I had and the medications got me a little bit groggy, so I apologize. But I was able to take care of a lot of business things that I had to take care of. And the young lady behind the counter that basically was more than just behind the desk. She was doing windows, she was folding laundry, she doing it all. I asked her, and I sort of talked to her. Her name was Kat, and I shared a picture of her earlier. And I asked her, she had an accent for sure. So obviously, a lot of times I'll talk to people and ask, are you born and raised in the area? And there's usually a story there. And in her case, she wasn't. She was from Finland. And I said, well, kind of what brought you over here to the States and things like that. Really neat story. So she was backpacking in the U.S. And much like myself, she had stayed with a family, and they became friends. And in fact, she says we became family almost. And when they passed on, they put her in their will, and they deeded her a bunch of properties for her to manage here in the States. So she moved out to New Mexico, and she works, at the hotel part-time and manages these properties, and her life is now, I'm So hey guys, how you doing? Are you trying to climb on there? I'm sorry, am I in your way?
No.
Okay, buddy. How you guys doing today, all right? I thought you were over there playing basketball. I didn't know you were over here at the park. Anyway, guys, so I'm at a park here, just a few blocks from where I'm going to be heading to. So these young men snuck up behind me. I didn't know that. I thought they were playing basketball. Anyway, I just thought that was a really cool story. So here's a young lady from Finland. When she came over here to just go backpacking, probably had no intentions of spending the rest of her life in the States, but that's how, you know, life and fate and God works out. So really cool story there. And then, as I said earlier in the day, I'm not even quite sure how this came to be, but I got an email from Nicole and her fiance and said, hey, you know, I don't know what you're doing tonight, but my family would love to have you for dinner and get to meet you and all that good stuff. And I got to be honest with you, I'm really looking forward to it, because I was trying to think about this on my way over here. East of the Mississippi, I spent most of my nights with the family, getting to know the people. And it was when I crossed the Mississippi that I did meet people, but a lot of times, and most times, I was in a motel or outside. And I'm even trying to think through Oklahoma. I can't think of a time, honestly, I can't think of a time in Oklahoma that I spent, oh no, that's not true. There was one night I spent with Brooks and Sarah and Jet at their home. But I think Miami was a motel, Afton was a motel, Veneta was a motel. There's one more night, Claremore was a motel. Chelsea was the house. Oklahoma City, Eric, Elk City. I'm trying to think if there was any time at all other than that one night in Oklahoma that I spent in a home. So I just think it's awesome. I'm going to be able to meet these nice folks, and that they invited me in to get to know me, and hopefully I'll get to know them and make some more journey friends and so forth. So just wanted to tell you guys that real quick. I'm not going to disturb them tonight with videos. I'm going to be sending a text, I think, out to a lot of folks. Some of you have asked for your text number. Something I'd like to share with you guys. What am I thinking about? Oh, and of course, I think a lot of you, in fairness, I tried to post an email today from somebody that certainly is not a fan of mine. Certainly entitled to their opinion, but I don't like to be a hypocrite and only post positive stuff. I'm not looking to get into a pissing match. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. The thing, I do think there's a lesson to be learned here with this person, and with any person. And I experienced this. If you go back to my videos, when my first week when I was in Pittsburgh, and I was listening to a couple of gentlemen speaking. You know, I mean this wholeheartedly, and I hope that you all that do follow me and believe in me, listen and at least ask yourself if anything of what I'm saying is true. And even if that person hears this video, even if they'll ask themselves if what's true. So my point is this, you know, there might have been some truth in some of the things that person said in that email. You know, whether this is selfish or not, I've been called selfish by my own family, not my kids, but by family members. You know, was part of this done for me? Yeah, I think I've owned that and pointed to them to acknowledge that a couple weeks into this, that, you know, started out for my kids, but I think I had to prove to myself, because my kids kind of reflect my actions and my feelings. That's why they said what they said. I don't say that they said it on their own. I completely understand they got that from me. So there's some truth in what the person said. I don't know when they joined the video group and when they saw it, and I'm not challenging them, and I'm not trying to get in the contest with them. But there were some things that were so wrong and over the top that I think sometimes when there's truth to be had, and you make everything one-sided, it loses the value. All right, and I don't know if I'm making myself real clear what I'm trying to say. So let me share with you my story back in Pittsburgh. I was in an inner city neighborhood, and I was talking to folks of African American community and the Muslim community, and I'm talking about racism. And two of the gentlemen I spoke to were completely brilliant in how they portrayed, you know, their perspective, and I learned a lot from those guys. But another gentleman, he made everything racist, that when he had a point or two that opened my eyes, it got lost in the whole blown up you know, everything in the world is racism, you know, and I'm being exaggerative now. I'm not saying this to be the case. I'm not sure. I'm not saying he said this, but, you know, it's one of those things when you try to say that, you know, green olives are in a jar and black olives are in a can is somehow racist. I think that's absurd, but I don't deny that racism still exists in our country, and that's my point, that when you try to incorporate the two same things in the same sentence, it loses some of the value. Like I said, I read that gentleman, or I don't even know if it's a woman or a gentleman. I honestly don't. I know the email that's sent to me has both a male and a female name on it, and it's irrelevant, quite honestly. But my point is, you know, there were some things in there that had me pointing the thumb and going, well, you know, maybe this was about me, you know. I don't see it the way he does about, or she does about some other things. And as an example, sitting here saying my pleas to Colin Kaepernick. I've been walking and doing videos for 11 weeks now, and out of all of the videos and all the time I spent on camera, I said if anybody knows Colin Kaepernick and you could ask him to sit down and talk with me, there's no plea. I'm not on the phone every day or begging for you guys to you know, get Colin Kaepernick to talk to me like it's going to justify and make the existence. It would be a neat thing to happen, and I would like to, as just another human being, just talk to him and say, hey, let me understand where you're coming from. But that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. So when you guys raise a point, and I know this, let's even talk about it as an example professionally. A lot of times I was responsible for doing reviews of people, and you know, people, I don't know if it's the way they view themselves or they feel the need to do it to try to get the raise, the job, the promotion. But what happens is there might be one or two really valid points that if they just made those one or two valid points and then just stuck to them, they would sink home and process and go, you know what, that person did do those two things. That person did reach that goal or sell that much or deliver that much or whatever the case may be. But when they turn it and take 10 things and try to take credit for the company's growth by 30% and other things, it diminishes their message. It diminishes to me what the not sanity, I'm not saying sanity, but the credibility of what they're saying. I think we should all be proud of our accomplishments. I'm proud of where I've gotten so far. I'm not going to I understand everybody's going to get me or understand me, and that's okay, and that's why I posted that. But I also think that there was value. I mean, I won constructive criticism. Somebody I do appreciate and consider family on this journey, just about a week or so ago, sent me an email, not anything like that, but with some constructive criticism. And it caused me to look at it. It caused me to think about it. And it caused me to change maybe how I deliver my message about pointing the thumb. I didn't get defensive. I understood it was coming from love. But if you point the thumb and look at it, but it wasn't 33 things of telling me what I'm doing wrong or what I could be doing different or how the message is being portrayed. It was one or two or three bullet points, and while I didn't agree with all three, the fact it was only one or two or three, it allowed me to process it and absorb it. And I think sometimes in life we all do that, whether we're trying to woo a partner and we tell them 300 things that are good about us when just one or two would suffice, or we're trying to win an argument and we put 15 things out there that back up our point when just one or two would suffice, or we're trying to do anything. I think that's the message I'd like to leave you guys with this afternoon. So anyway, it's just a phenomenally beautiful day here in New Mexico. Tucumcari it's a really cool town, but one of my observations, first of all, this is a Saturday afternoon where you would think would be the hustle and bustle of town. There are more, and I guess this is because there's distance between towns, there are more motels in Tucumcari and I think than there are of all the other businesses put together. There's got to be, I don't think I'm lying when I say 15, and a 4-mile walk over here to this home, I don't think I'm lying when I say there were 15 motels, whatnot. So anyway, I love you guys. Carolyn and Grace, I love you guys. Thanks for following and supporting. Take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon. I got to go meet Nicole and her family for dinner. Take care, guys.